Hello, I am Eric. I run the book blog lonesomereader.com, and today I want to talk to you about a very special author. Now, if only I could remember what her name is. Yes, I am talking about Joyce Carol Oates. Now, if you read my blog or watch my booktube channel regularly, you'll know what a fan I am of Joyce Carol Oates' writing. I am always eager for her next publication, and luckily I never have to wait very long because she publishes on average 2 to 3 books since the 1960s. These include 5 young adult novels, 8 books of poetry, 9 books of plays, 15 books of nonfiction, 39 books of short stories, and 66 novels and novellas. So what's so shocking about these figures are not how prolific Oates is, but the consistent high quality of her books, as well as the staggering variety of subject matter and style in her writing. She has written books as diverse as a sort of novel about the transformation of Norma Jean Baker into the icon that is Marilyn Monroe. She's written a nonfiction book about the sport of boxing, and she's written a suspense about the art world under a pseudonym. However, this great profusion of writing does create a common dilemma for anyone who hasn't read Oates before. Where to start? And it's a great question because there are so many books to choose from. I'm asked this question over and over, which is fine by me because I love talking about her books. But I thought I'd come up with this short introduction and guide to Oates' writing so everyone will have a way into reading her work. If you try any of my suggestions, I hope that you'll quickly grow to love her writing as much as I do and want to read many more of her wonderful books. Before I begin, here is some brief biographical information about this great author. Joyce Carol Oates was born in 1938 and raised in the small rural town of Lockport, which is located in upstate New York. She's been a professor of literature and writing most of her life, primarily at Princeton University. She's won a National Book Award for her novel, Them. She's been awarded a National Humanities Medal. Several of her books have been finalized for the Pulitzer Prize, and many of her short stories have been anthologized in the annual Best American Short Stories. She's also a keen runner, hiker, piano player, and has a passionate interest in animal rights. So, here are a few of my suggestions to get you started. If you want a novel to begin with, I would suggest The Gravedigger's Daughter. This is the story of the daughter of recent immigrants who lives through a severe family tragedy. Through sheer chance, she survives and grows to thrive and transform herself into a strong and capable woman. It's a novel about our innate resilience, but also our fragility of spirit when we question why we are lucky enough to live when so many others have perished. It encompasses some of Oates' most persistent themes, including girlhood, a love of music, and our transforming values over generations. It also uses her most frequent mode of writing, which is a kind of psychological realism, providing a panoramic view of American life, as well as the ticker tape of thoughts of her character's innermost being. This is a very personal book for Oates, as the inspiration for it came from the life of her grandmother. If you like short stories, I would highly recommend this collection, Hi Lonesome. This is an anthology from 2006, which includes some of Oates' most famous short stories, as well as interesting older fiction and some new writing. It includes what is probably her most famous short story, Where Are You Going? Where Have You Been? This is the story of a teenage girl's encounter with a seductive, dangerous man who might be the devil. And interestingly, that story was adapted into a film called Smooth Talk, featuring actress Laura Dern's first major movie role. The stories in this anthology often have an intense urgency to their narrative and include high drama like betrayal, feverish romance, and murder. There are also passages of deep contemplation that really creatively ponder the most pressing philosophical questions about life. The narrative styles really vary from an almost feverish interior narrative to a story of where sisters exchange letters over a number of years. And it also has the story where I found the inspiration for my blog's title, Lonesome Reader, referring to that space where you're reading in a state of intense contemplation, but feel physically separated from everyone else. If you're interested in genre, I would recommend this novel, Bellefleur. This is a sprawling, gorgeous family epic that follows the successes, failures, and fates of a prominent family and their very bizarre labyrinthine mansion. There are family secrets, lost fortunes, ghosts, a mysterious inner garden, and a larger-than-life intrusive cat, who you can actually see on the cover there. This is the first in a series of books where we see, in Oates' words, America as viewed through the prismatic lens of its most popular genres. These 5 books employ genres such as the family epic, romance, mystery, crime, horror, and the historical novel to create fantastically readable books which cleverly play with ideas about society, American ideologies, and forms of narrative. Now, she first published 3 of these books in the 1980s, but put the other 2 aside. And real Joyce Carol Oates geeks like me quietly campaigned for many years to see these last 2 books published. The 4th book, My Heart Laid Bare, which is a brilliant novel about a family of con artists, was published in the 90s. And then the final book in the series is this novel, The Accursed, and it had the working title, The Crosswicks Horrors. And it's a historical novel about Woodrow Wilson and includes strong issues about racism. And it was finally published in 2003. So I would really recommend all 5 of these books, but really start with Bellefleur as a really fantastic, enjoyable read. If you are a writer or interested in becoming a writer, there is this book, The Faith of the Writer, Life, Craft, Art. This book is a series of essays which provide inspiration about forms of writing, how writing is a natural part of human life, like dreaming, and contemplate several works of classic literature. It's an invigorating, fascinating collection that really should sit on any writer's work desk. If you are interested in Oates herself and are wondering, how does she do it? How does she write so many books? I would really recommend reading this book, Invisible Rider, by Greg Johnson. This is a carefully researched, comprehensive, and compelling biography which gives insight into the development of Oates as a writer, her interactions with many of the most famous writers of our age, and a look at the process behind writing many of her books. And it should also be noted that Greg Johnson is a really interesting, great writer himself who publishes novels and short stories. There is also this book, The Journals of Joyce Carol Oates, and you'll notice that it only covers 10 years. These are her only diaries which have been published so far. It's an edited version of her journals that provides insight into her daily life, discipline, and some of her most pressing inner contemplations about life and the writing process. This book is like a Bible to me. I've read passages from it many times, and it's really endlessly inspirational. You can also follow Oates herself on Twitter, where she is very active discussing current political issues, writing, films and theater that she's seen, or new books that she's reading, and she also posts plenty of cute cat pictures. So I hope this gives you a glimpse into where you might start reading the writing of Joyce Carol Oates. Her books are incredibly diverse. There are so many more that I could talk about. So I'd advise you just to look through all of her books and pick out one that grabs you. If you want more detailed information, the website Celestial Timepiece is an incredibly comprehensive site dedicated to Oates' life and writing. I review all of Oates' new publications for the academic journal connected to this site, Bearing Witness, Joyce Carol Oates Studies. I'll put links to all of these on the video below the video. So if you want to discuss Oates more with me or talk about any of her books, please get in touch. I'm always happy to discuss this great genius. You can find me at my book blog, lonesomereader.com, on Twitter at lonesomereader, or email lonesomereader@gmail.com. If you want to watch more of me discussing what I'm reading and authors I like, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, and bye for now.